Dyslexic Genius here. What I'm going to talk about is a Victrola XI. The last video we did on this, it had the spring barrel broken out of the middle. And now we're done repairing it. We have a lot of Victors online. But how do you oil this? So let's always start with the governor. Sewing machine oil is going to go right here to this bearing and to the governor. You're going to put a drop there. You're going to come way down here and you're going to put a little drop there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to come up and right down there you're going to drop some sewing machine oil. You're going to put some right here. You're going to come over the other side and you're going to put a little drop in here and here on both sides of this casting. On assembly, I put graphite grease that I mix up on the gear here for running, and then I put a little Hootie graphite grease over here for the governor shaft. For this gear, I use the green grease, and when you look into the threads, you can see it's all green. So when it's running, you know it's mixing in there. On assembly, on these, the shaft that goes through the spring barrels, the spring barrel shaft that goes through, you're going to lube that with STP. Okay, and where these two barrels come together, there's a clip sticking out like this. There's a slot. It's self-explanatory. It pops together like this, right? You're going to put STP in there. Before assembly, and after you've packed the spring barrels with green grease, I talk about, you'll look at the bottom of the barrel and you'll see the arbor. In the last video about this, it was missing the arbor. And the arbor turns on the spring barrel like this. So you want to put a little STP right around that on both arbors on the spring barrel, and you assemble it and you'll be good. And that's pretty much it. You want to make sure that you oil this is a leather, not a felt. So when the machine's running, you have the machine running. Let's just drop this down. You just dribble some oil in here so it's running on the back of the flywheel. Always these cake up with oil, and then the hard oil and grease people put on that just drives into the back of your governor there where it's supposed to be running smoothly. And you always get those lines in there, and you want to make sure you polish all that out. And that's pretty much it. You know, you'll flip it over, and then you'll flip it over like this. And the last thing you'll do is you'll put a little bit of sewing machine oil here. And the most critical oiling spot on any phonograph is right here on the spindle shaft. And you want to see how you want to put oil in here. And really, you want to oil the spindle shaft so you fill up that whole groove all the way around. Because that oil, over time, is going to leak right down through the casting and hit the gears and stuff. And that's why they're always packed up with a black grease stuff. And that's how you oil a Victor. All Victors have a schematic on the back of the motorboard. The only company that ever did this, and they show you how to do it, but I just showed you how to do it the easy way.
Because most people are not going to lift up the motorboard.
Yeah, they're not going to lift the motor. This does have this piece here. These two clips are plugged into the body of the phonograph. So then you can undo these two screws. You can lift it up. It'll lock in place. Okay? And then you can oil everything that way.
Okay, let's
you know, once in a while, you know, once a year. If you play it a lot, you got to oil it a lot.
Let's see it run.
Let's see it run. Okay, just a second. Takes it off in about 4 cranks. There we go. We'll fire up. Nice and quiet for Victor.
But how many cranks does he need to?
You always want to crank your motors all the way up, almost till the springs lock out like a clock, because you want to mix all that oil and grease all the time. If you only use a little bit of the spring, you only crank it a few times, pretty soon the spring gets weak right there in the middle and they break. And it's running very well. If I can pick it up and keep it running, let's see if I can do this. There we go.
Silent.
Silent. Then when we reassemble, we'll put, instead of the felts, we always replace those with rubber or silicone rubber. Keeps the motor quiet. And that's your motor. And that's how you oil one and maintain your Victor. And that's my tip for the day.